This is the plaintiff, Sandra Verma. She says she worked with the defendant for 3 years, and when she left, the defendant refused to pay her for her last week of work. She knows the guy's unscrupulous because he's done the same thing with others. She's not about to let him get away with it, though. No siree, and is suing for $5,000. This is the defendant, Robert Serrata. He says he fired the plaintiff, who thinks she's God's gift to the world, for non-compliance with store dress code, a general lack of respect for customers, and tardiness. He held her last paycheck because he wanted her to return a very valuable parking pass. She didn't, and now she's suing him for $5,000? Preposterous. He's accused of being tight-fisted with a paycheck. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,200 for withholding a parking pass for 2 years.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Sandra Verma.
Correct.
You are suing your former employer, Robert Serrata, doing business as Bernie's and Sons Jewelers.
Correct.
Okay, for $5,000 in wages that you say he has shortchanged you, and a paycheck that he is withholding. You are counterclaiming against her $1,200, a value that you say is of a parking pass that she has yet to return. When she stopped working for you how long ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay. So what happened?
What happened was my final paycheck was withheld.
How long had you been working there?
I worked there since July 2006.
So you'd worked there for several years.
Correct.
And what did you do for the store?
I sold jewelry. I did various cleaning duties. I brought in customers. I answered the phone. I performed whatever.
Everything.
Yes.
And why did you stop working there?
I was terminated.
Why?
Because apparently my dress code wasn't followed. Apparently I mailed a box illegally.
How did you get fired?
Mr. Serrata said that you're out, you're leaving, you're fired.
Was there a fight before that?
No, I just walked into the store on February 14th.
And on Valentine's Day?
Correct.
And boy, that's usually a busy day for jewelers, isn't it?
Very busy.
So you fired her on Valentine's Day?
I believe it was.
And what brought that on?
Oh, this came on with months before this. She would not show up on time. I think maybe 7 out of 9 days she showed up on time. Ms. Verma only worked maybe 2 days a week. I warned her, the next time you show up late, don't show up. Next morning she showed up late and I fired her.
And that was Valentine's Day? That
was
just happened to be
Valentine's
Valentine's Day. So she showed up how late?
I believe that day it was 15 minutes.
Tell me about she says that you also fired her over dress code.
Oh, she never wore clothes. She was...
Any?
She had see-through clothes on most of the time. You know, everybody that worked for me, my customers, it was just, I just put some sweaters on, put a jacket on.
Okay. And had you talked to her about that?
Many times.
And what was her response?
She would laugh.
Okay. Now, she says you're holding, well, you say two things. You say that he's holding your last paycheck out of spite because of all these problems between you two. And you also say that he shortchanged you for 2 years.
Correct.
Okay. Tell me about that.
On all of my paychecks, ironically, the hours are not stated. In other words, I am the highest paid salesperson, along with my prior coworker, in the entire nation, because for 1 hour I receive between $100 and $125 an hour. My paycheck has never shown the hours.
Tell me about this. I'm looking at her pay stubs, and it does say hours worked 125. What is that about?
Well, I used a payroll service, and their payroll checks, they only have a place for days, for hours. And so I would always pay Sandy by the day. Mm-hmm. So what her paycheck started to be, it was always $100 a day, changed to $125 per day. I never recorded or reported in hours.
Why not,
ever.
though? All you got to do is change that to hours. Like if you pay her $100 a day, no matter how many hours she works?
I had to do that now because of this lawsuit.
Well, yeah, because you're supposed to do that, because you can't have them working 10 hours and then pay them $100, because then you get in trouble. So you're supposed to report it by the hour. That's why Paychecks has it by the hour, That's what they have, by the hour. So instead of reporting one, Paycheck can't change hours. You got to change one.
It was understood that a day working
You're
at
not
Bernie's
following me.
was
I don't
8
care what you
hours.
two wink each other about.
No, we didn't wink at all.
The understood part doesn't matter. I saw your letter from Paychecks, and Paychecks is saying, yeah, we only have a space for hours. We can't change that. Okay, so you change what you're doing and don't say one. Because, see, there's a reason why an employer might do that is a nefarious reason. It's not a good reason. And what reason do you say that is?
That the hours were incorrectly reported.
Why?
Because
how does it benefit him to report it that way?
Because A, I would be underpaid for the hours. For example, when I work 12 hours on a Christmas party or for his wife's party with no breaks and no lunch hours whatsoever, with the exception of the ability to go to the bathroom and take the phone with me in case it rang, those hours would not be documented. As a result, I'm interfered with the ability to access any of the employee benefits, such as the safe harbor 401k.
Okay, now this is what
She
we're talking
chose
about is a
not to.
retirement pension plan.
Correct.
Okay, and the federal regulations that require you to inform your employees that they could pay in, or what do they want to do with that year's benefits?
Matched pay.
Okay, and were you matching her?
She chose not to join.
She chose to never deposit.
Correct.
All right.
As far as I know.
Okay. Now, whether that happened or didn't happen, I assume is yet another. How many lawsuits you got against him?
3.
Okay, so that may be yet another lawsuit for another day, or that may already be pending. I don't know.
I got time.
But the important thing from my perspective is, in this case, she's suing for wages that she says you withheld at the end, which we're going to talk about that right now, and then shortchanging throughout the course of how many years?
3.
Okay.
And
Why didn't you bring that up throughout the course of 3 years?
I did.
How is it that 5 years later is when you're bringing it up?
I, in fact, talked to Mr. Serrata repeatedly, and he said, your next paycheck will be adjusted. Your next paycheck will be adjusted. I talked
She's
to
a
my
liar.
coworkers.
But how would you keep working? See, if that happened and then in my next paycheck it wasn't adjusted, I would just say, okay, see you later.
I never filed for wrongful termination, so I was more than happy not to return to the job, second of all.
Well, that's the only thing you didn't file for, right? Wrongful termination? You filed the lawsuit against him for what? Sexual harassment?
Correct.
Okay, what? Telling you that you're dressed inappropriately?
No, for the harassment and the belittlement and the
What
constant,
sexual harassment took place?
for example, that I'm a pedophile, and he repeatedly told people and customers that.
Taken out of
On
context.
account of you have a young... How do you take that out of context? That's sort of like...
Real simple. She told me she was going to pick up boys at a high school. I told her
That's a
that's the
complete
definition
lie.
of being a pedophile.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
not out of context. That's in... Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
For example, my shirts, you know, he would always make a comment, or he was
But when
extremely...
he says the comments were button up, then not the opposite of button up.
That's what he says now. Okay, but
And
at
you're
the
saying it was different?
correct.
All right, and I assume you deny.
I have a gorgeous wife of 34 years. I don't want anything
Of 34 years, or who's 34 years
No,
old?
I've been with her for 34.
Of
She's my
34.
best friend. I would not. I don't even need to answer those stupid questions.
Okay,
I mean,
let
well,
me
I do.
ask you this. You have a very hard time proving to me that I should go back years and years and years and years ago and figure out what you worked and what you didn't work. How on God's green earth are you going to prove the past stuff to me?
Okay, I have kept record of the days that I worked because I never had a schedule. I didn't have any records of the hours I worked. I didn't have any ability other than when he said I was supposed to show up. So I kept calendars.
The way you're going to prove that you worked more hours than you got paid on a particular day back in 2009 is how? You're going to show me some calendars you wrote in?
Yes, because that's the only records I have of how and when I worked.
Okay, that's the only record you got. All right, and now let me ask you a question, Mr. Serrata. Are you withholding a paycheck from Ms. Verma?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and why are you withholding it?
I sent her a letter stating she still had my parking pass.
Okay.
And she returned my parking pass. She kept the paycheck.
Okay, tell me about the parking pass.
The pass, I believe, cost $64 and some change per month.
Okay, so there is a pass that she possesses. Okay, there's a parking garage where? Near your...
Right above where my store was.
All right, and that pass allows a person to park in that parking garage?
Correct.
All right, and who pays the $64 a month? You do?
Yes, well, it comes from an agreement I had with my business.
Okay, I mean the business. All right,
Yes.
so and then when she got fired, she didn't turn in the pass?
No.
And couldn't you just inform the parking garage not to accept that pass?
I could.
See, you're the plaintiff in your counterclaim, and every plaintiff, okay, every person who's coming to court and saying, help me, judge, has to prove that they did what they could to help themselves. That's what we call mitigation of damages, and it's the obligation of anybody who files a lawsuit against anybody else. Did you hemorrhage and just let it be a big problem? Did you really pay $64 a month for that pass rather than canceling it? It's ridiculous. So why didn't you just cancel it?
I'm not a nice guy. You just heard it.
All right, and where's the parking pass?
The parking pass is in his store, and the parking pass was never Mr.
How'd the parking pass get to his store?
I mailed it. And
in the mail?
Yes, I did.
Show me the last paycheck. Now, you're claiming that the paycheck that you're owed, that last final paycheck is $1,386.
Correct.
You got paid once a month?
No, every 2 weeks, but I have not been paid since January 16th was the last paycheck that I received. I have my paychecks here.
Okay, so, and then you worked 2 weeks after that?
I worked 77 hours thereafter, and I have...
And what's your proof of that?
My own record keeping, because I have nothing from him showing
that. Okay,
that.
and how many weeks do you say that she worked from January 16th? Do you show a paycheck after January 16th?
That was one paycheck for working.
And it says February 20th, and it's for $319.
Correct.
Do you have the payroll records for the month, for your employees, for the month in question?
Payroll records?
Okay, let me see that. Okay. This is exactly what I'm asking for. Okay. And what this shows is that you got a paycheck on 1/9, on 1/23, on 2/6, and on 2/20. The 2/21 is in my hands right now. Okay? That each of these paychecks, the one on 1/9 was $125, the one on 1/23 was $375, the one on 2/6 was $375, and the one on 2/20 is in my hands for $375. So that would, if this is accurate, that would make you incorrect. Now, you're saying that you did not get the 2/26 paycheck. Is that correct?
The last paycheck I received is dated 1/23/2009.
Okay, so what we're talking about is the 2/6 paycheck. So here's what we're going to do right now, because I want to find out if that check was cashed or that check was not cashed to understand what may or may not be due and owing. So we're going to take a recess. I'm going to give you a chance to talk to well, I don't know if Paychex handles your bank. I guess it was be your bank is who you have to talk to, to find out if that check cleared. And I'm going to hand this back to you so you see what check number it is to see if it was cashed or not. Get that paycheck, please.
All rise.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Can an employee at a jewelry store be fired for wearing see-through clothing?
No, because the clothing could be see-through and she wouldn't have, they wouldn't know about it. I mean, why would they fire you?
Well, you would kind of know when you put it on and looked in the mirror, right?
Well, I mean, but if it's like a white shirt and it's see-through.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they wear revealing clothing, is that grounds to fire somebody?
I believe so, because that's just inappropriate. Being a part of a jewelry store, there's a certain appearance you should portray.
Guy's perspective.
Well, I just have to say that certain people who go into a jewelry store are looking for a high-class environment. So yeah, it's a little bit, it could be viewed trashy, you know, like you don't want that.
God, I didn't see that one coming. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
All right, let's talk about each of your respective lawsuits, okay? You're suing him for the statutory maximum in your state of $5,000. You say you're at actually $8,000 because you want me to go back over the course of I don't know how many years and find that you worked extra hours that you didn't get paid for. For reasons that we have already gone over a great deal, I find that you have not proven that. I find it unbelievable that you would week after week after week report to work under the concept that next paycheck it would be covered, and then the next paycheck it isn't, and then you continue to do it. You're completely unable to prove the bulk of this lawsuit. Now let's talk about the last paychecks. I have here the paycheck for the very last one. He says he didn't send it to you because you didn't turn in your pass. You probably didn't turn in your pass. Okay, but I find that there is zero value, not $64 a month value, zero value to a pass that all you had to do was place one phone call and invalidate. You think she's a jerk, and you just don't feel like sending her the paycheck until somebody forces you to, somebody just forced you to. So that's your counterclaim against her, zero. You claim that you are missing 2 paychecks. The payroll company records show that your paycheck is direct deposited.
Correct.
Now, why, if that is the case, why is this last paycheck in a check? I guess because you told them don't pay it.
By request.
So you stopped that last paycheck from going in through the payroll company. Now, where are your bank records that would show me, because part of your lawsuit is to say, Judge, the last whole month is missing. And then you would show me your January and your February bank statements where it shows that the direct deposit stopped at a certain time. Okay. So do you have your bank statements?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do understand, though.
No, we're done. Here's what I'm going to do. Because I don't want you to get shortchanged a paycheck. I think that would be really wrong. I'm going to give you 5 days. No, I'm going to give you 7 days because I'm feeling generous right now for you to provide me with your bank statements that show a lack of a direct deposit on that second to last check.
Okay.
If that's the case and you didn't get paid, then you should get paid.
Okay.
Okay? But the payroll company shows that they did. Of course, the payroll company also shows that that last check got direct deposited, and all you had to do was call them and call it off. So, and the check is here. So I'm a little bit nervous about the payroll company, and I would feel much better if I saw the statements and saw in your bank account that there was not a direct deposit in that second to last one. You understand? Or that there was. Then I'd know. All right? So as for the $375 minus whatever was withheld for tax purposes on the last paycheck, that is being handed over to you now. Actually, I don't know why I perforated that. But that is being handed over to you now. You go ahead and cash that. As to the second to last one, I'm going to give you 7 days to give me proof of your bank statement so that I can see whether or not it was deposited, and I've already covered the rest of it. Good luck to you folks.
Hold on right there, please.
Well, let's see what he has to say for himself coming out of the courtroom here. First, you heard the judgment right there. What do you think?
There's a problem with America when an employer can't employ people and be confident that they can control what's going on in their own business. These lawsuits are frivolous. There's no merit to any of this.
Why do you think she would single you out like that?
Vendetta. She felt like I slapped her in the face.
All right, you head right down this way, all right? Let's see what she has to say. All right, come on in here and give me your feeling on the outcome here.
Crooks will remain crooks, and all employees are at Mr. Serrato's mercy financially.
You're going to keep suing him until you get what you
No, I've
want?
moved on.
You have moved on.
I have.
All right, to what? What do you do now?
I work my own business.
Okay, Harvey?
Okay, update on this case. The judge awarded $319, which was for one check. As for the second check, the judge felt that the plaintiff already got paid. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.